When they took off, like their feet flew back, like they were just flying through the air.
I did. I told him, ship down, we're not going to make it.
Just based on his track record.
Probably a Corvette.
Yep.
As soon as you hit the water, you were swimming for your life.
Oh, I'm trying to dodge grown men. I literally flipped over and I'm looking.
Did the backstroke out of there?
Yeah, bro, I'm not trying to have the breath knocked out of me by one of y'all landing on my back.
It was a slip and bleed.
Yeah, slip and bleed.
That's what it was. I mean, I got last.
Did get last, but you didn't die.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's like a redneck at sheep.
Oh, man, here we go again. It's been a while since we've done this. It's been a while since we've had a little checkers or wreckers in our life, and it's been a crazy few weeks, especially in just the past couple of days, right?
Yes.
And, man, I'm barely caught up on sleep from the crazy weekend we just had at MidAmerica. Luke, this is your, second or third time on the podcast?
Yeah, third, fourth, I don't know.
Nah, I don't do that. Maybe second.
Is that still make him a guest or is he a regular?
Nah, he's still a guest right now.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, don't speak unless Quinton or I speak to you.
Yeah, and don't adjust the mic. Don't adjust the mic. That is not your seat.
No.
You are not him.
That's. You did bring the belt back, though, this time, right? Yeah. What did you win it for last time?
I was thinking about that today. I don't remember. It's
Probably
been so
crashing your
The crash pit bike.
It had to have been a
that's
crash.
right.
It had to have been a
I
crash.
still have those scars.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
freaking, the break and turn and burn.
That left hand braking.
Yeah, when he tried to clutch, but instead pulled the front brake.
That picture got pulled out this weekend. You showed it to somebody, didn't you?
No.
Yeah,
I
there was
showed-
like some girl there. Oh, no, maybe it was Luke.
no.
He was
I
like,
showed it to somebody. I don't remember who it was, but I showed
that
it.
was that girl. That girl that was talking in your mouth.
Down your throat.
And she was like,
Y'all trying to get me
you
in
seem
trouble.
like a really sweet guy. You don't seem like real tough like the rest of them. You seem really sweet and soft. And he was like, no, I'm not. Look at this.
Check this out.
Yeah, he pulled it up.
Quentin, that voice of yours is sounding a little raspy, and I've been around you, but the past several weeks, so I feel like I should know this, but I'm going to ask anyways. Any more tattoos added to the mural that you're working on?
No, summer's not over and you can't be in the water for a week. And so that's been the only holdup finishing out.
Oh, that's your strategy. Wait for wintertime.
Yeah, and then we're going to schedule in for a pec line up to the shoulders.
From then on, can we do podcasts with just you shirtless showing that neck to navel tattoo?
Right now, it looks kind of stupid because it's not finished. That was all. It was 5.5 hours. So the next time was going to have to be like, Ryan said he thinks we have like 12 hours left. So it's going to have to be like, I'm going to try to do it all.
God,
Just like one half of the side's done.
Something to make it look
One wing.
Yeah.
Something to keep it, like this is fine because it's like, all right, that's the headpiece when you have the shirt on. When you have the shirt off, people are like, what you doing with the rest of it?
Oh,
we really don't know yet.
Yeah, I haven't decided if I'm going to put some lion claws on this thing.
Yeah, I don't know. What's the thing that's like a half horse, half person? Is that when it's two animals? What is it called?
Condor.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
No, I
I
don't
have
think
no
so.
idea what you're
Minotaur?
Yeah, Minotaur. That would be
When
it.
it's half.
Or it's just, you put like a human body underneath the owl head, just little legs and stuff.
No, that's a horse and a person. That's what a minotaur is, not an owl
Whatever.
and a person.
That's fine.
I think it's,
Alatar?
what is it when it's half lion, half eagle? Or half owl, half lion? What would that be?
Ooh.
You know what? We'll let our special guest of the day take a stab at this. Anybody that have heard this voice and didn't recognize it and don't recognize him on camera, we got a new one in the podcast. It's going to be Mr. Chris Shweers.
I never knew how to pronounce his last name now.
I don't either. Is it Shweers? Is it Squeer?
That's dicey.
For sure not touch. Is it Shweers?
Yes.
Like medium shirts?
Yep, mediums.
Can you say it real quick?
Shweers.
Okay. I swears to God, if you ever drink like you did this weekend, I've got to take care of you.
This is your first run of the podcast.
Yes.
And you opted to have the headphones on. Is it so you could hear your own voice?
To see how dumb I sound,
Yeah,
I think that was the point of the headphones.
And how do you feel?
Very dumb.
Got it.
Yes.
Mine inspires self-confidence. Is it not for you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I love hearing my voice now. I used to not. Now I'm just like, man, I could just listen to me all the time. Matter of fact,
You just turn on your own podcast.
I put on old podcasts whenever I'm falling asleep at night and just listen to my voice.
I do the same thing, but I fast forward when y'all are talking.
He just cuts out all the parts that aren't him.
Yeah, I literally have Josh go in there and just cover all of y'all's up with silence. So I just hear me talking
A
mainly.
special cut for you, the DJ cut.
Yes, except Luke's laugh, his high-pitched laugh. We leave that in there every time.
Or my voice gets real high when y'all make me upset somehow.
No, your voice gets really high when you're guilty of something that you're trying to deny.
And he gets defensive.
Yes. Yes. Chris, you spend a lot of time running. Whenever he is defensive about something that he's done, but he's trying to lie about, does he not go like, definitely wasn't me?
Literally, that same girl he was talking to.
I think that was the exact voice. I'm not sure how you did that so well.
I didn't do this. I didn't
do that. I'm not sure.
He practices at night.
Yeah,
we all do.
I have been. Speaking of practicing at night, we just got back. Us four just got back from a crazy weekend at MidAmerica Outdoors, right?
Yeah.
Luke, you've been over there with us before, huh? Mm-hmm. That place is crazy.
Yeah, it never disappoints.
No.
It's always a good time over there.
And every time you get there, they're building something else and something new.
Yeah, I mean, last time there was no pool, no lazy river, no bars, nothing. And now it was like a whole different place when we went this time.
Yeah, that place is, they're definitely putting some work and money in that place to make it like a mecca for off-road, mainly like racing and stuff.
Yeah.
And so this weekend we chose to go for a special event that Quinton was making a special run at. Do you remember what we were going for?
Oh yeah, the bounty hole stuff, bounty hole and the knockout races, all the mud events.
Yeah,
that was like we thought was going to be a small portion of the event.
Yeah, the mud bounty hole, the mud technical or obstacle course, the tug of war.
Yep.
Like, we was going down there to let you run everything on the Renegade.
Yeah, why not, right?
Well, yeah.
Because the demographic there is not a mud market. So we're like, all right, my stock bike will be competitive.
Yeah.
Well, 3 weeks of them paying $100,000 in payout brought out a bunch of people from Texas and stuff we know that with a bunch of fully built race bikes and $60,000 ATVs on portals. And so, yeah, there's no chance. I couldn't even run half as fast as their kids through the pits on their freaking kids' race bikes.
But in all fairness, we took like your trail riding rig out there, and these dudes had nitrous bikes and portals and stretch and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let me race up. I entered 7 classes, only got to race 2. I still got to send that email tomorrow about getting my refund.
Yeah,
it was actually, I look back, it was like $700 in sign up fees.
God, so literally before we got there, there was like different classes that you could run the bounty. Oh, you run small tire class, which was like up to a 32. You could run medium tire class up to a 40, and then unlimited class, which was whatever you wanted to run. And then there was like 3 different styles of racing and the tug of war. But you literally went in there and signed up for every size tire in every event.
Yeah, actually, MidAmerica had a really nice website. Shout out to them. You could as you entered the field and filled it out, it gave you another drop down appear, so you could fill out like 4 or 5 at a time and enter them. And then I had to do it twice, and so it ended up being like 7 events.
But they basically caught you like the candy at the checkout.
Oh, for sure.
Where it's
yeah,
you know what? I'll take a stick.
Yeah,
you know
I'll
what?
just I had to go back and remember what I hadn't signed up for and on the second round and do it. Yeah, so you could sign up for up to 32, 33 to 40, and then unlimited 40 and above. So there was 3 different bounty hole classes, 3 different knockout race classes, and then tug of war. And so I signed up for all of them.
Chris, not ever being to one of these events or not really being around mud riding because you're from out west, what was your perception as we got out there? Like, did you think, like, Quinton's got this? Like, there's no way he loses this? Or
Well, like, the only mud stuff I ever did was, like, when I went out with you guys to Jackson in Texas.
Yeah.
And that was, like, the first ever thing that I saw. So I saw your guys' bikes and, like, the Defender that we have, the Media Defender and stuff. And I was like, okay, this is whatever. And then we got out there and we roll up to the bounty hole and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Like, it was just like cartoonish, like how big these things were.
Because they were such big tires and like lifted.
Yeah. And then there's like these 10-year-old kids like just strapped onto the thing. Just like,
He's right. It looks ridiculous.
Feet don't even reach past the seat.
yeah, I was like, if this kid falls off, he is getting crushed. Like, immediately.
For sure.
I mean, a grown man, they're running 63-inch tractor tires. We couldn't pick a tire up off somebody.
Yeah, so pretty well anybody that fell off and got ran over was going to get crushed.
Yeah, but these kids were just like, when they took off, like their feet flew back like they were just flying through the air.
Oh, man, it's funny to hear how Chris imagines this. It's literally like a cartoon where they're just holding on the handlebars, full stretched out behind the seat, just flapping in the wind.
Yeah, I was like, when we rolled up, I was like, what is going on? I don't think this is real. I had to like make sure I was awake or something. I didn't want to be dreaming.
It's definitely different than what you're used to out west, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen nothing like that. Like power steering on a like actual hydraulic power steering on Can-Ams. Like, what?
Yeah, it did.
That's wild,
Did you
man.
see that? The ones with the big rigs had a hydraulic like pump and power steering on them.
Yeah, and surprisingly, like they slung mud and water up on it by the end of the event and running because that family that brought out like 15 bikes, one specific for each class, that bike got ran like at least 6 times probably, and it was covered in mud, and the belt stayed hooked up and the power steer stayed going. So I was surprised they didn't really break anything. Like as big as those bikes were, I figured like the culvert and the couple of obstacles, like they were at least going to tear a wheel and tire off because, like you said, it's just so cantilevered. They're running track bars on independent suspension bikes because there's so much leverage with the portals and everything.
We were
It's wild.
standing behind one of the bikes, that big Can-Am. That was like, it was the tallest one there. We were standing behind it, and it took off and threw like huge mud balls out at us. And I was like, I did not expect that at all because I was like, there's no way this thing's gonna take off. Like, I wasn't expecting how fast they were gonna go.
For it to
over
actually
stuff.
pull up dirt and roost
Yes.
a little bit, yeah, because they look like just old tractors.
Yeah, I was
they would
like,
go
it's
so
just
slow.
gonna like take off a little slow and just kind of putt through, and it was like gone.
Turned on, huh? Luke, I know you do a lot of designing for us and like building stuff. Did you go look closely at some of those rigs out there?
I did, and I was surprised that they stayed together. I was impressed.
Was there anything in particular that you thought, yeah, that's a really quality design
The
right
stick
there?
welds,
Yeah.
maybe.
No, the thing that impressed me the most was the custom Honda tires. Yeah. Those I was like, yep, I should do some of those for sure.
The wheels that he built?
Yeah.
When he had 4 spokes on the rear and 2 in the front?
Yep, that was very, very well thought out.
Bro, he took a 4x8 sheet of like steel and cut down the middle, and that was his spokes, like an old military medical cross. And then he told us, we were like, the rear wheels had the full T, the front wheels, he took the plate off that cross, so it was just a stick in the
Yep.
center of the wheel.
One plate.
Yeah, one plate. And I was like, how did he get it so perfectly square?
Oh, it wasn't. Did you see him driving?
Was it doing the
dude.
square wheels?
Not only that, they were moving up and down, but they were moving like side to side
I
too.
mean, it
The
didn't
back
matter.
end was also just like flexing out.
Dude.
Like it was
It
held
didn't
on by
matter.
like 2 sticks of tube on the
Yeah,
bottom.
the middle of the frame was just flexing while he was
Yeah,
riding.
because they run like all the bounty hole bikes are running like 250 wall pipe
Yeah.
on them now, and
Yeah.
so like it's insane.
Yeah, it didn't matter that Honda didn't have straight wheels. It went about 0.5 miles per hour.
That is true.
But
Went through
maximum.
That is
everything.
true.
But what's crazy is the difference to see. I don't know if it was the total weight of that bike to tire size, but all the big Can-Ams that were running 60+ inch tires couldn't make it over the culvert hardly. He literally didn't get over, like you said, walking speed, 2 miles an hour. Didn't spin a tire through the big tire pit and made it all the way through. Did he end up having the fast? He did. He was the only one that made it all the way. I think he had the fastest time because they got hung up on the culvert.
Yeah,
so
he
long.
was the fastest or second fastest time. He may have been the only quad or ATV to make it through the bounty hole with no problem. So he may have been the fastest time.
And to put that in perspective, the big bikes were probably doing 40 by the end if they could skip over the culvert, like on 60-something inch tires and low, like literally maxing out low. He didn't get over 5 miles an hour, maybe.
Dude, I could have crawled faster than that for sure.
So I was impressed with that thing. It was,
I was
I mean,
too.
hey, you know what I'm saying? It's either build a $60,000 Can-Am or that. If he built that at his house, I don't know if the other guys that showed up built his lift for him, but they were all the same. It looked similar. So
Chris, you are a fabricator. Would you speculate that one got built at his house?
Yeah, that's a home build.
Okay.
I would call. Yeah.
You think he built it on the A-frame that your dad used to have a come along to pull the motors out of his truck? You think he hung it from
talking
that?
about the old swing set?
Yeah, the old swing set. They got turned into a motor picker.
I think he built it all with Harbor Freight tools, I would say. Every single thing they got there. Chops, not even a chop saw, just a grinder.
You think he just would
Just
use
to grind
Metabo and
Yep,
grind it as square as
Metabo
he
it.
could?
Yep, and then probably just a drill to drill his lugs in, you know.
I heard you say a minute ago, were some of those bikes really have stick welds on the chassis?
And it looked like it. I mean, I wouldn't consider that a good weld. I mean, I'm not sure how you would do that with a MIG welder unless it was like flux core or something, which it could have been.
Yeah.
I've been very surprised, like, to see, like, coming from California, to see, like, fabrication standards from there to here.
Yeah.
It's a very different. I would say.
Oh, you're saying the tolerances are a little looser around here?
Yeah, everyone. Well, I mean, everyone just, maybe not seeing as straight as people in California.
Yeah.
You might have a light bar a little bit.
I would be
half an
careful
inch.
with that state's name on good standards.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
Southern California. Let's just say that. Like, that's our
Yeah.
people.
Man.
And they still don't have dirt track racing builds beat, though. That's for sure.
the dirt tracks is.
There's
Those
no
are
other
wild.
car in the world you can treat like that and still sell it for what they sell for.
Dirt track
insane.
cars?
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
not.
They had welds on top of welds.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the quality and craftsmanship. What else can you turn 9,000 RPMs nonstop and run it to 240 degrees and come off the track and be like, yep, we're good for the next heat.
Yeah, Luke.
Bang it off a couple walls,
no
all the
prep.
cars.
What else could you buy for $15,000, race 3 times, wreck it in the last race, and then sell it for $8,000, Luke? Besides
know.
Quinton's dirt track car.
Quinton would know.
I'm listening.
That sounds like a
listening.
good
Yeah,
investment.
I'm
Name one other thing that you could do that with, that you could lose that much money that quick on.
Yeah.
Black, putting it all on black.
I think I've had better luck at gambling.
But yeah, the gamble you took at the bounty hole, because you didn't have you had a good run. You had a clean
Yeah, it wasn't
run.
bad. I got hung up on the culvert. I thought I'd saw the line, and I was like, all right, cool. They're kind of hopping over there. Like, if I can get over the culvert faster than them, then, like, that was really the game changer. But there was, like, 1 or 2 bikes that had nitrous, and it literally looked like the culvert wasn't even there when they went across the pit.
Yeah,
Did you get like third or fourth?
I don't know. I didn't stay around. I guess I could have gotten third,
I think-
maybe.
yeah,
No, because
I
their
don't think many
kids were running the kid. I ended up choosing not to run the 32 and under class because I was running a 30.
Oh no,
Three.
You didn't choose.
You were-
Yeah.
One of the dads told him he wasn't going to run.
No, nobody told me
You
anything.
can't beat
First of
my
all,
son.
First of all, because we would have been doing a different sport right out in front of the mud pits.
Some wrestling.
The drivers meeting came up, and they had all the sheets mixed up. They had everybody that signed up for ATV classes were in the UTV classes when they're calling out the name for the chip draw. And I was like, and they called. They were like, all right. What was crazy online? It was up to 30 stock, up to 32-inch tire. But when they called it out in the thing, it really made you feel like you needed. They're like youth class up to 32, and I'm like, yeah, me.
I'm there.
I'm there.
This full beard neck. I'm there.
Yeah, and then the parents were like, isn't that the class that's 32 and under? And my 33s didn't measure near as tall as their assassinators. And so I was like, and then I seen just their kids were signing up. I was like, oh, they're going to play this card. I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, man, I won't race against the kids. Then I walk over to our bike lineup, and when I walked up and parked my bike, I saw everybody's like full-blown race bikes. I was like, all right, cool. Trashed out. You can just tell they're a straight-up mud pit racing bike. Well, that's what the kids were running. Like their parents' old nitrous-powered 200 horsepower ATV. Like literally 150 horsepower motor off the spray. And there's one of them I heard the dads. I don't doubt the kid was riding that much, but one of them was running 100 shot of nitrous on there.
Well, it was like they
that
would
too.
go through the bounty hole, swing around. Someone else would get on the bike.
Yes.
So they're like running that bike like 3 or 4 times every class.
And they held together. They broke one front axle is what I knew. They swapped that out before the knockout
But in
races,
general,
so.
they were literally just swapping those nitrous built bikes
Yeah.
between each other. And you were out there in your trail riding rig trying to make a run at the title.
They literally said they studied the rules and brought a specific bike to the max for each rule, each class, and they were going to run it as many times as they could if it held together to try to get first, second, third, and keep all the money in the family. They brought out a bunch of bikes that were prepped and freaking took home all the money, so hats off to them. I just it's got me a little vengeful, so who knows, maybe we'll show up. If they're going to pay that kind of money, I'll build a full-blown race bike again.
You know what I don't understand, Luke? Is Quinton had just that trail rig, and then he let all those dudes with those race bikes punk him like that and tell him, you're not racing this. Yeah. It was kind of a tense standoff for a minute.
Yeah, it didn't make much sense. I just know when all that happened, Quinton came up to me and he said, we're building the race bike and coming back out here next year for sure.
Not next year. It wouldn't take next year. It wouldn't
like,
take next
next
year. If
week.
they're paying if they're paying $100,000, give me 4 weeks. We'll put something together. I'll take a stock motor out there on his. We'll figure out what takes to scatter one. A 30 or 40 shot on a small bike would skim across that.
He was literally on Facebook Marketplace on the drive home looking for blown up
Was he really?
Renegades and Outlanders.
No, because this is going on the brand new one. That thing gonna have the second engine in it.
How many Renegades have been sunk 15 foot deep?
Ooh, only one that I know of.
My buddy's got one for sale cheap.
Yeah, I know you can get one of those. Oh man, but that didn't end the day for for you, you also literally when Quinton says that he signed up for every class, I was announcing some of the events. He was signed up in the UTV class.
I told him I'd run it.
Every tire size UTV class, in the all tire sizes ATV class, in the youth class, and then he signed up for the tug of war in both UTV and ATV classes. So he had one run in the bounty hole, and then they wouldn't let him run any other classes, and then had a run at the tug of war.
Nobody was fixing to win by default because there wasn't an entry in their class. That was 100%
You made sure
guaranteed.
somebody was going to be racing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was literally taking a nap because remember I arm wrestled the night before at the bar at Coconuts.
Yeah.
And my elbow like flared up with tendonitis. And then we did the pit bike race, and I could only run like 3 of those races. They were what, 3 lap apiece? Yeah. 3. Yeah. So 9 laps, and dude, I couldn't hold my arm up. Like I was in a bind. I was like, I gotta go take a hot shower and eat a whole bottle of aspirin. And then D calls me. I'm in dead sleep. He goes, "Where are you at?" I was like, "I don't know. The knockout races don't start till 9. I'm 30 minutes out." He's like, No, they're calling your name right now for tug of war. So I get up out of a dead nap and run over there, pull up. My bike, I thought I'd washed off from the first set of mud races for the day. And it was overheating. They had to take the fire hose as I'm hooked up, and I had to Austin Powers get it turned where they could spray the radiator off in front of everybody. And then we turned back, and they were like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, still half sleep. I've got sleepy voice. It was a good nap, like where you taste it in your mouth when you wake up. You know, just your taste different. And he's like, "You ready?" Yeah. And I hear some freaking watered down horn they had, and then like D and them yell at me, "Go!" And like. I was sleeping on the light. The bike did like what, 2 or we thought in our eyes like we definitely are harder on things than we realized because I was like, man, it didn't even hop that bad. I don't know what broke the front drive shaft. We look at the video; it had like 6 good hops where the whole bike left the ground, blew the front drive shaft out. Thank God that was only that.
Quinn got a late start because that dude started pulling on the horn, and I didn't know that was the horn either. Like we were sitting, I thought they were running a test run or something because you were the first tug of war, and that dude blew it, and old boy took off, and I was like, oh dang, it's go time. And so in my mind too, whenever I was watching, you barely gave it gas and it just broke the front end, and we stopped the tug of war. But when we go back and watch the video, my man's over there just wide open throttle, wheel hopping on the concrete. And it's that good concrete at exit ramps where they put the side scratches in it so that you can't lose control.
No. The rip scratch.
The rip scratches,
the rip
so you
scratch.
get all the traction.
Looks like they took a metal hay rake and they raked the concrete with it.
They did, and they was getting...
Yeah, I literally leaned forward and low, and it wasn't locked in, too. And I leaned forward and put as much weight on the front tires as I could and just went wide open throttle.
Yeah, it didn't last long. So
I don't think I would have pulled that bike anyways. That dude had a lift, and it squatted really good. And he had, like, some
pulling tires.
Terminators on there.
Tires.
Yeah, they had way more rubber on the concrete. He actually pulled everybody, and then... kind of slowed down what's his name's bike on like 63s.
Yeah, that big one.
And he had his tire. Did you see he aired his tires all the way down? They would lay flat. There was over a foot of rubber touching the concrete on those tires when the bike would squat down to go to pull the other bike. There was no pulling
that strategy. It worked. It worked pretty well.
Yeah.
But you did mention in quick passing that we all entered the pit bike race. When we got there, Luke, Chris, did y'all know that we had planned on running the pit bike race, or did y'all even know about it?
I had a bad feeling that we were all going to jump in on that pit bike race, and I was not super excited about it when it started.
Yeah.
So I'm not a pit bike racer.
Did you have any idea there were pit bike races, Chris?
Well, yeah. I heard it in passing.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to believe it. I was thinking, if I don't think about it, it's not going to happen.
It'll go away.
Yep.
Hold on, I thought on the West Coast like pit bikes were a big deal like that. I feel like that's where like pit bike racing came from. You didn't ride pit bikes back home and stuff?
Nope. First time ever jumping a pit bike.
Oh, I didn't know
To
that.
be honest with you.
Really?
You ride with? Didn't you buy one of the Honda 110s with us?
Nope.
Oh,
No, he's
okay.
been borrowing my spare one.
Oh, that's right. He's riding the basket.
A basket with a bell on it.
Yeah, and speaking of, somehow the handlebars are twisted and pulled down to the gas tank.
Looks like he's a new pit bike owner of a Yamaha. Is that a TTR? That's the
Yeah. Looks like he
I'm
just
not sure about that one.
looks
I
like-
think Luke's handlebars got twisted.
They did.
No, they shifted.
crashed.
They
How?
shifted.
Did y'all crash?
Yeah.
When I was asleep.
We'll
or something?
get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
Oh, we're not to that yet.
Yeah, your
No, we're not
boy.
to that yet.
I'm gonna tell you right now. That's like what I thought about what we did this weekend and what I signed up for everything. That's like a redneck achievement.
Oh, yeah.
If you can go to MidAmerica and sign up for every event and make it through every event with no injuries and not break everything, That's like, yeah, I should get a badge. You know what I'm saying? Like, I earned some patches this weekend.
That's an actual accomplishment to get done.
I didn't even think about that.
Chris, going into that, like practice started a little slow for you. You said you don't have no pit bike experience.
Yeah, so it was like these big jumps, and I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this. So it's like I figured out the jumps, and then the turning was just not there.
Yeah, the turning aspect of a race course.
Yeah.
Struggle at it.
Couldn't do it. It was real wet out there. There was no big ruts that I could just like kind of get in. So I was like, this is not good. And it didn't help that I think all the shocks were blown on it. Yeah. So it was just straight. Once I landed, it was straight to the knees.
Yeah.
So that was I mean, I got last, so I'd say that. And I didn't hurt myself, and I had my shirt off the whole time.
There's always a silver lining. That's right. You raced the whole thing with your shirt off. I forgot about that. Yeah. But there's always a silver lining. You did get last, but you didn't die.
No.
Didn't die.
Luke, where did you end up?
Second to last.
Second to last.
Got it. So you and Chris.
No, I remember getting to the pit bike race and seeing the jumps and being like, no chance. Like, the most things I've jumped is over a fence, and it was like 2 feet off the ground.
Wait, no, because first of all, I'm gonna tell you, no. First of all, for sure, we've talked about it. You're not proportional to the pit bike. You get tall bars on it, get a little suspension, it starts to feel more natural. But it, like, you can pull on it too easy one way or another when you jump, and either you're coming down way like this or on the nose. When I saw the track too, I was like, oh, somebody for sure is getting hurt today. Like, we don't have stuff like that to ramp to practice back home. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you line everybody up that was out there at the race course that rode the pit bikes and showed them the fence gap jump and was like, hey, is everybody gonna hit it? I guarantee you half of them wouldn't, because for sure that's way sketchier than those jumps are.
Yeah, for sure. But I remember, I don't remember who went first in the practice. Was it the pros?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, they gave me way too much confidence.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I don't either. There's like an outlaw pro class in pit biking.
Yeah, they gave
like
me
their 450s.
Yeah, they didn't seem like a pit bike.
They
to
didn't
me.
look like
bro. The exhaust note at them, they were thumping. They would literally like Supercross bikes where they're doing nothing and we'll go to 40 up the face of the ramp.
Yeah, and they were like they had it tapped out the whole time. It stayed on rev limiter the entire time, and they gave me way too much confidence going into our practice for sure because they were hitting every jump, and I was like, oh, for sure, I got this, no problem. Yeah, bad thoughts.
Yeah. Y'all really didn't do bad. I'm going to be honest with you. Y'all made me proud that day because not only did y'all enter the pit bike race, Shane entered the ATV race. Did you get to watch that?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I thought he was going to... That's the toughest fooler I've ever seen in my life.
I've got some amazing videos of him going through the whoop section. I wouldn't even call it a whoop section the way he was running it. Dude, he had every one of the shocks blown on that little thing.
Rename it the torture section.
And the problem was, like, I knew in advance if I would walk out here on the track by the jumps where Shane's passing, I know Shane well enough to know when he sees you filming him, he's going to go to 100. And so we got some big air to flat landing on his ATV watching him run that.
All that happened was just frame.
He hit those jumps so hard when he hit the ground, he bounced off the ground twice.
Well, the problem is he was heavy enough to put the suspension all the way at the bottom of the stroke. Mm-hmm. So, like, it was taken off of the bottom of the stroke, and then when it lands, it's like slamming into the bump stops. Isn't that really nice little four-wheeler he built for Slade back in the day? Was that the one with the sweet wheels, the BMF wheels and stuff?
No.
Oh, okay. I was trying to remember. I remember he built that really, really nice kids four-wheeler.
No, that was an all stock little Honda 90 or something.
Shout out to Honda 90 because that's the strongest factory chassis I've ever seen.
I definitely would do a full frame inspection on that one and check for some cracks after that race.
Perfectly fine.
It should be fine.
Don't even need a prep job.
I need to check my pit bike after that because when me and you was running, we've never jumped stuff like that before except for the dirt bike. I mean the mountain bike trails we got in a little bit of air. But bro, I didn't realize how high I was going following you because you're in front of me, and I'm like, bro, we are jumping way too far on these little frames. I thought I was gonna break the. I don't have all the upgrades like y'all did. I thought I was gonna break the engine cases like you were talking about because don't the foot pegs go to the bottom of the case?
Yeah,
bro, I was trying to land on the back wheel and let the tire hit the rim and soak everything up and then come down the suspension.
There were a couple times my feet definitely wrapped around those pegs for sure.
Folded over.
Yeah, folded over them. 100%. Yeah. Because I hit
you
the
also
ground
got the
so
dog
hard.
ear peg too from the crash. So it's like one's like straight and the other one's just like bent back.
Oh, you bit yours when you crashed on the road?
Oh yeah, I haven't been back yet. It's kind of reminds me of that I can't be too dumb.
Yeah, don't be doing road rash things anymore.
Yeah.
We also though signed up for the team race. I don't think you made it out there for the team race,
dude. I couldn't after doing the what was the 12 and up class? What was it? How did they break the pit bike classes
down? You
down?
did the beginner 12 and up class, and then you did the 30 plus class as well.
Yeah, I didn't know that one, so I was like,
because you were just
qualified.
Yeah,
but my elbow was already hurting after the first race, and that was when me and you battled for a little bit. Like I was going 100. Well, right after that, like I got off the bike and I was like, oh man, my elbow's in a bind. So I put it in the cooler and laid in the ice chest, and I was like, all right. And then like that gave me instant relief, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. That's all I got to do after every race. We're good. Dude, once it got warmed back up, by the end of the 30 up race, the last lap, I was literally almost in tears. In the whoop section, like I would hit full blast like a dirt bike, like where it would skip across kind of. And one time, the second to last lap, that's when I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get hurt. Like I'm too tired and I can't hold on the handlebars. I couldn't crush a empty Coke can. And
I went track and you were just like, I can't I can't undo my hand because it was like wrapped around.
Yeah, I couldn't open my hand and I couldn't squeeze tight. And then that second to last lap, I was like, all right, I've got to chill out. Like I'm gonna hurt because that when I hit the whoop section in the second to last lap, I actually went whiskey throttle and I couldn't not shut the bike down. Like I was stuck like that. And I was like, oh dude, I'm about to eat it in front of everybody like 40 miles an hour on this thing.
Yeah.
And
I don't feel like you were the only one affected by that. Did y'all not have forearm burn when we wrapped up the pit bike?
I went to the team race, the last race. I was getting.
But let's be honest, they weren't up front like me and you.
No, you're right.
I wasn't pushing that hard.
You weren't.
No.
You
I was like, I'm gonna look good out here and try not to crash.
People were screaming at me and you for 3 laps.
Were they? I
Yeah,
couldn't hear nothing, dude. I had tunnel vision. I was deaf. Like me and you was Ricky Carmichael and James Stewart.
I literally was like, one of us is going to keep enough speed here in a minute and jump too far trying to stay in front of each other or pass somebody. And I was like, one of us is fixing to get hurt.
All I knew is every corner I could see you trying to come under me, and I was like, dude, I cannot give up a line. That was a battle to the end for sure.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
I want to build a track here now after that. Like I'm like, all right, that was freaking super fun.
It really was fun.
It was. I had so much fun.
And like the team race. So the team race, it was like
I didn't get to see that.
5 laps,
dude.
So it was like 2 people. One person would run the first, the other person would run the second. Then switch to the third, switch to the fourth, and then the last lap it was together. So
2 people had to ride the dirt bike together
on the
fifth
same
lap.
time.
Yes, on the 5th lap.
So me and Luke teamed up, and we were riding Luke's bike because it's a new. And I get on that thing, and I'm like, dang, this thing's like way faster. I'm not gonna blow my knees out on this thing. And
so all of a sudden he's a pro pit bike racer.
I was like, this is so cool.
I had a heart to heart with Chris. I was like, Chris, we're winning this. Like,
oh, you did going in the team race.
Like, I don't care what happens. I don't care if you break bones. I don't care if you break the pit bike. We're winning this.
We have to win. This is all I care about.
Yeah, we got last.
Dude, next time I'm saving everything for the team pit bike race, and I'm not going to run none of the rest of them.
Well, I mean, we were doing good. We were staying with DJ
we had to beat
race.
DJ. That was what we were beating DJ.
I mean, we were staying with them, and then the last lap, Luke comes around, and he jumps off the pit bike. It's like, go, go, go. And I'm like, bro, it's the last lap.
Get back on.
Get back on.
We got to do this together.
We got to do this together.
Yeah.
Like,
Luke was so excited he forgot the rules.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Like DJ was saying, I had tunnel vision. I was just like, we're doing this, and then I forgot it was the last lap.
He jumps back on the bike, and I'm like getting on the bike, and he takes off, and I'm like wrapping my arm like around him.
No.
Grab the handlebar because he takes off, and I just pull it like hard left, and we just crash.
The only thing I saw was I got back on. I thought Chris was on. He sat down, like the suspension compressed, like he was.
I was sitting on the fender.
He's sitting, and so
not on.
I
Had
take
it
off.
folded down in white crease line on it.
Yes, I take off, and all I see is Chris's hand just like grab onto the handlebar and turns it, and I just watch y'all drive off into the sunset.
And
like,
DJ and Shane are straddling each other face to face.
Reverse cowgirl.
Yes. The whole track.
So it really worked out good though because Chris and Luke were on a team and me and Shane were on a team. And so Shane doesn't have much dirt bike experience.
Like me.
And Chris doesn't have much dirt bike experience. And so while we were racing, Luke and Shane were on the lap together and me and Chris were on the lap together.
All right.
And so Shane would get out of the ways and Luke would have him chased down by the time we got to the pits. And so when we would swap, we'd be kind of standing there with each other.
So it worked out to be a good race.
We were like pushing over people, like,
yes,
because you could sabotage the other team.
Oh, while you were waiting, you could sabotage
Yes.
them?
If somebody else came in, you could turn their bike
So
off. You can kick their bike
We were
over.
clotheslining people.
Yeah, me and Chris at one point had our forearms locked trying to clothesline people.
Oh, you talking about Red Rover, send them on over?
Yeah, so literally Chris and DJ took off on the first lap. DJ pulled away. We switched. I pulled back on Shane. Same thing happened again on lap 3. And then same thing happened again on lap 4. But I was going crazy on lap 4. I just let it all eat. I sprained my ankle on that lap, cased every single jump. And then we get to the
flow.
no flow. And then we get to the 4, and that's when all the bad crap happened. We had y'all beat, too, if we would have not screwed that up.
I still can't
here
believe
we
they
go.
beat us when they were riding face to face. They're going over the whoop section, just
So upset.
staring each other's eyes.
so upset.
I didn't know because I was paying attention like y'all racing each other, and I was like, all right, I'm waiting on Shane, like battling. So I wasn't watching for the 5th lap when everybody got their passenger on. So I didn't know how they were riding. I was just thinking like, all right, what's the easiest way that we could hold on to each other and we could finish this team pit bike race? So when Shane pulled up, like I tore his arm off the steering wheel, and I hopped in because he's probably a little taller and thicker than I am. So I sat down on his lap, facing face to face with him.
That's the most balanced because your
That's
legs
what I thought. I wrapped my legs around him so that my feet weren't dragging the ground, and like I grabbed over his shoulder so I could lock on, and I was like, yeah. Like,
You're also
he's
on
got
like
good
a 110
vantage.
too, though. So like, I don't think both of y'all can sit on that seat. It's
No
a very
chance.
like. So when I sat on it, I'm like hanging off the
Yes.
seat and stuff, and other people were riding like 120s, 125. So it was like a bigger bike.
Yeah.
So they were able to sit like that, but
Yeah.
I think
Pole to hold.
I think us two were the only team that were riding 110s on the team.
Yeah, we were.
I think so.
Right,
I think
were. Everyone
Yeah.
had us beat by a mile.
I didn't realize that no other teams had ridden face to face with their teammate until
Yeah, no,
about
you were-
halfway through the course. And like I'm seeing the other teams kind of finishing and coming by on corners. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Got
as you have Shane koala beared
Yes.
on the front side.
Yes.
You're watching everybody else like, oh, we did this wrong.
yeah, we should have done that.
No,
I
that's
saw-
definitely the most balanced way.
That's what I thought, but then I saw everybody in the crowd like laughing, pointing, pulling their phones out. I was like, okay, yeah, this is for us. I see. But the other part was I'm riding with Shane. We kind of pulled in together. Like Luke was telling you, whenever Chris jumped on the back, Luke went whiskey. Chris tore the handlebars out of his hand, and so they wrecked.
Yes, we
Well, they
wrecked.
stood back up, jumped on. So I'm sitting in Shane's lap,
Just
watching,
You can see that.
looking at Luke and Chris right here as we're freaking battling. And I'm just like, Shane, don't fall. We can't crash. Don't fall.
Man,
we
we were
can't
hoping y'all
crash.
fell. So
Bro,
there was a
that
couple
ought to be
times
the-
y'all almost did. Y'all did almost fall a couple of times. And
Few times.
I saw y'all and I was like, please crash, please crash,
Luke's
please crash.
telling me to shift the bike.
I did.
I'm
I
not-
told him, shift down, we're not going to make it.
Oh, like you talking about make the gap? Like y'all were jumping with two people on it?
No, we were not jumping.
Definitely not.
We weren't going to make it over the jump.
Oh, like it was bogging.
Yeah.
So I was on the back of the bike holding on to Luke like this, shifting the bike while he has his feet kicked out in front of it.
See, our
a good
strategy
time.
was way better because at the end, me and Shane ended up winning.
Yeah.
Let's not say we ended up winning. We
No,
ended,
no, you guys won the team 110 class.
Yeah, we won. That's right. We won
Yeah.
the 110 team.
Y'all
class.
won the pit bike team race.
Yeah,
And
everybody else won the full size.
Yeah.
So-
the actual dirt bike race.
We're bringing Max's pulling tires for the tug of war next time.
Yes.
We possibly might put some nitrous on one of the bikes to see how it stacks up.
Definitely.
And then the pit bike, we're gonna go find my old CRF 150R.
Yes.
Okay.
And put 110 stickers on it.
Okay.
And then we're gonna race with everybody.
Yeah.
That's what it seems
That's what
like
it
they do
sounds
out
like.
there. So
Yeah.
that team race was quite a debacle for sure. I could tell everybody was laughing and pointing.
That was
3/4
one
way
day too.
That was just-
that
yeah.
was like the first day.
Yeah, that was just day one.
Yeah, it was a good day. It was a long
I
day.
say
but-
so. I say so.
Yeah, a lot happened on the first day.
I ended up getting second, and they disqualified me in the pit bike race because one of the
Yeah,
dudes
nobody would own up to it.
one of the dudes ran me off the track. I literally couldn't hit the jump, so I cut diagonal to the finish line, and they disqualified me. But he ran me off the track. Like
What jump did he run you off? The little step down before the turn
It
kicker?
was the first jump, actually.
He went from the first jump to the finish line, and
Yeah,
for
yeah.
some reason they disqualified.
Well, but he ran me off towards the finish line, so I literally just crossed the tabletop.
yeah, you
right
have
there.
no idea how mad it made me when you crossed the track like that. Because I was right behind
How-
you.
a
I was
no
literally
choice.
I was about to pass you.
No,
up,
you were not.
And you went.
No, you were not.
Yes,
Not even
dude, I was
close.
right
Not
behind
even
you.
close.
Percentage wise out of the track, how much did he cut? doing that?
90%.
Oh, so you're
No,
talking
really.
about like he literally didn't run this whole part of the track and just went to the finish line.
No, he
That's what I heard.
realistically he just cut off one jump and a turn, so probably like 10% of the track.
It was the turn in the corner,
Yeah.
the little kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, the turn down.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
It was a
Yeah, you have
it was
50 foot each side,
You took
right?
the inside lane instead of the option lane around
That's
it.
what I
He
thought.
definitely cut off a good bit of the track, but I don't know if they should have disqualified him. Maybe like take off a few seconds, put him in third or something.
He's got a record of being penalized on races.
I know. I don't have a good
Best
track
in the
record
desert,
of
he's
that.
been penalized a couple of times.
I don't know why. I feel like I always follow the rules. I don't know what happens out
Those
there.
for
No idea
sure
why.
were not your fault. So
No, definitely not. This one wasn't either. They should have gave it to me. I got second overall. So
I'll write him an email along with my entry fee money.
yeah, let's let them know about
Just
that.
talk about.
But again, that was just day one. Next morning, we jump up. We're going to go ride in Disney for a couple hours. We got the brand new Rocky Ridge Jeep. Literally brand new. I think it showed up with 14 miles on it. I drove it for 1 day or 2 days. And so it had like 120 miles or something like that when we went out there to the thing. And so we were like, man, we got this brand new Jeep. It's a rental. Well, you have to give it back in like 3,000 miles. So let's have some fun. So we decided going rock crawling on it. And we didn't make it. I wouldn't even say we started rock crawling in it whenever we dropped off that waterfall.
No, it was the very beginning.
Yeah,
But keep in mind, it's got the anchors on the side.
it does.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call those
Steps.
sliders. I think Dustin Henderson called them hangers,
Yeah.
not sliders.
Yeah.
They're definitely not meant. They're not rock sliders. They're definitely for people to climb in and out of their like daily
Yeah.
driving.
They're not
That's a cool
mounted to the
vehicle.
Jeep like sliders.
And what's crazy is as thin as they looked, we sat the whole Jeep down on them, and they didn't
Yeah.
touch the Jeep, and they didn't get tore off. I was really surprised.
They definitely made some bad noises though.
Oh, you should have felt it in your feet in the cab.
Yeah, besides flexing the body and hearing the grinding on the first obstacle, they held up great.
But I mean, we looked at it after it, and there was no scratches. There was no real damage to be like,
Mint.
oh my gosh, we really messed this thing up.
Yeah,
That's because
definitely.
it had the giveaway bolts on it. They just moved out of the way instead
They
of
just moved around a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah, instead of denting.
The tear off fenders.
Yeah.
And we didn't make it far past that till we got to the first climb. That I thought we was going to get some good stunting shots
Oh
on.
my lord.
I was like, Shane, get the camera. This is where we're going to stunt. I don't even think I gave you a heads up. I just went ahead and pulled up to it. Didn't I? Didn't give you time to get out. I was like,
No,
let's just.
it's how it went. You started to pull up to that, and I saw Shane grab his camera and jumped out like backwards, dove out of the X3 just to get the video shots. I'm pretty sure that's how that went.
And that's almost where the day ended.
Yeah, I thought it was over.
Go ahead.
You were right behind us in the X3, Chris?
Yep.
And what was the first thing you saw? When,
I was like, what's on fire?
yes.
And then I was like, oh, it's burning oil because it's just, he's got it so tilted up this
Would you say
face.
turned up?
Yeah, like, so I'm not big into rock crawling that much, but like when you pulled up to that thing, I was like, there's no way he's going to do that. And you did that.
Just to give the audience an idea of how steep this was. This is the same one the Tacoma came down.
A full wheelbase truck.
Yeah.
When I did the
I gotta go pee.
moonwalking stint.
Yeah. Go and get it. You
So-
can finish that. You can finish that thought.
Yeah, so I'm coming down it and literally had it walking on the front tires. That's how steep this hill was.
Yeah, you definitely did a nose wheelie coming down it.
Yeah, and you were going up it.
No, I wasn't going up it. I
You're
was just
trying to get a good
Well,
shot.
you were
Yeah.
stunting up it.
I was stunting on the hill.
Yeah, and well,
What
then
angle do you
it's-
think it was at? Like, it was at a good angle, like incline.
It was steep enough that it unloaded the front end when we got the nose up there, and I
Yes.
felt the tires come off the ground in the front end. So I don't know what that's going to be like a
60, 70.
60 or 70 degree angle. I would think it was near vertical when the tires dropped in the bottom for sure.
It was pretty close to vertical, but when I started seeing that white smoke just pour out of the exhaust, I was like, "Oh, the day's over." I see the white smoke, and you hear,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
engine killed. And we were like, "Oh, that's it."
That's what I was about to say. Was it the white smoke or was it the motor knock that
Oh,
made you think the
Lord.
day was over?
I thought it was the white smoke because I was like, oh, you just starved it for oil and
yeah.
we just trashed this whole engine. But I mean, got it back down the whatever the obstacle and
Whatever that thing was.
yeah, trail if you could call it that. But
The cliff, like I don't know which one you call it.
the rock face or whatever. And we got it back down and popped the hood and checked the oil. The oil's all good. It just seemed like it was just at a way. You were doing too much for a
Yes.
Jeep, I think.
Yeah.
Would you say we were going ham Pam?
Ham Pam to the slam?
doing too much.
Yeah.
But man, you checked the oil. You did a quick diagnostics on it.
Yeah. We just
Looked everything over.
Make sure it was all good.
Nothing was on fire.
Nothing was on fire. And then we checked the oil. I think we checked it again to make sure we weren't still burning it or we still wasn't low or anything. It was perfectly fine.
And no check engine lights were on.
That's good.
So
Good
for me, no check engine lights means keep going, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you basically just didn't hurt it.
We just used the oil as some fuel. Really, we actually probably got better fuel economy because that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, just burn some oil for a minute, so we were getting good gas mileage.
Oh yeah, just lubed up the pistons a little bit better too.
I wonder what that knock was though.
Maybe it's just you laughing inside the Jeep and hitting your feet on the ground.
It was the sliders for sure that were making that noise.
But that was a pretty cool place to like just go around, and like there were some really, really cool trails and stuff, and some really cool like areas we got photos.
Yeah,
Sure.
I do like riding out there, man. You just go out there for the day, and especially when you got a couple of rigs to ride with, like it's not too difficult, but you can make it as difficult as you want.
Yeah.
But like just to cruise back there and finding that old abandoned church or whatever.
Yeah, the First Baptist Church.
Yeah. That truly was the First Baptist Church, I think, as old as that thing was.
Yeah.
But that was it was fun to go cruise and ride out there,
Yeah.
man. Especially after we figured out we didn't burn up this brand spanking new Jeep.
Man, I will say from the time this was the second time I'd gone out there, and I was in your X3 this time, and the obstacles did not seem near as hard in the X3 as they did in the Tacoma. Did not seem like the same place. I remember seeing the stair step one that I was trying to hit in the Tacoma before I had the front lockers. I literally looked at it and was like,
this is what I was working on.
This is what had me held up for real. Like,
So you're saying a fully built Can-Am X3 on sticky Rockzillas goes better than a nearly stock Toyota Tacoma?
had me blown away.
With a bolt-on bumper?
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
Had me blown away.
Who would have thought?
Had me blown away.
Who would have ever thought?
Yeah.
On like 32s.
Yeah. You'd have thought they would freaking be just as capable.
I thought they were going to be doing the same thing.
That's what they advertise.
Yeah. Yeah. If it was what are those Toyota Highlights? What are those things?
Highlanders?
Yeah. No, the Highlights. Helix.
Helix, that's what it was.
Those things get down.
Yeah.
But that's not what Luke's got, right?
No.
He's got like a
A
Sequoia
2006
Tundra.
Tacoma.
Is it a Tacoma or a Tundra?
2006?
I don't know. What
It's a
is it?
Tacoma.
It is.
It's an 11
Oh.
Tacoma. Second gen.
Is that thing even fuel injected?
Yeah, barely.
Let me
The
just ask
first-
Chris. Let me just ask Chris, Luke,
He has
before you...
My
to
bad.
baby bird it into the carburetor.
Speaking of which, I think Quinton's owl got fed a couple times this trip.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Was that after we finished riding at what you call it? And
Disney?
after we got finished riding at Disney and at the Barbie Jeep race. Was it at the Barbie Jeep race or after?
I think it was while they're going down the hill.
Yeah. The Barbie Jeep race was quite a spectacle.
I can't
Dude.
believe how much carnage there was. People were jumping these Jeeps into a 3-foot pond and coming out with parts. Like these things were disintegrating and hitting the water.
The funniest thing to me on that is there were a couple guys that like were checking the steering before they took off, and you watched them check it, and as they checked it, it broke. As soon as they were
Or they're just not moving. They're going like this, and the tires are just like.
And then they would shake their head like, yep,
Let's do this.
I'm good.
They literally, I noticed that. They had whatever sod they had. That grass was amazing when you pulled the tar back, how green and thick it was.
Yeah.
Because y'all were like, hey, Quinn's going to make a blind run. And I'm like, dude, this is the last thing in my life I ever want to do blind. Because I saw the finish line jump and like, they're really safe out there. Like, there's a speed limit on the campground. Like, they try to keep everything, no issues. Dude, I can't believe they have that event. I'll be honest with you.
It blew me away.
Because them dudes are that's 200+ pound men coming down from, I don't know, 8 foot in the air, maybe a little more from that top jump, probably into the water if you get some good speed. And I was like,
You're
bro,
definitely
somebody's going to
getting
take
some
some
good
metal
speed.
steering or a steering rod to the back or get landed on and be in a bind.
So
I don't think anybody ever got landed on that we heard of.
I don't know how with as many people's racing, but set up the Barbie Jeep race. Like for people that aren't watching, can't see the video, like explain it. You're starting like 200. How high was that hill? Probably 200 foot up, 150 foot up.
I'd
how
say,
tall?
like,
No, it's definitely from the bottom to the top. 100%, it was as tall as a pine tree. It was about 100 foot.
I would say it was
And
100 feet.
I think it went down, like it had 2 like rollers in it. So you start, you drop down, then you'd come up, drop down again, and then hit the jump into.
It was steeper than the roof of your house.
Yeah.
And about 100 yards long.
Yeah,
probably a little bit steeper than a regular roof on a house.
And they slicked it up too.
Yeah, and they had tire shine. And 2 fire hoses watering you as you went down. So
that was the worst part.
Yeah.
You couldn't see anything going down that thing.
So
it was blind.
After the Barbie Jeeps, we did a charity run.
Yes.
So it was me, Luke, Quinton, and some other people.
This is one step in for D because he was announced. They let like him have a surrogate slider.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, cool. Like Quinn's run down it, I think 2 times.
No, I did the first blind run, and I was like, dude,
in a Jeep or just by yourself?
No, I was the first one. Did anybody go down before I got there at all?
No.
Yeah, I was the first one to go down at just body slide, and I was like, because I wasn't driving a vehicle down, because I didn't know how you were gonna land at the end, and I didn't want to like. There ain't no suspension. You're squished. You're crunching plastic.
And when they say that, like to set it up, these guys are racing down this roof steep hill with 2 jumps, like you said, and they're using. What are they using for vehicles to get down this thing, Chris?
Like a plastic child Jeep. Like it's like something you buy that's like they just rip the battery out from like Target or like Toys R Us. Like,
I think those were some that they found on the side of the road.
or dumpster toys.
Yes.
It wasn't. It was like the oddest vehicles too. Like we had like the Barbie Jeep, right? And then you had like a quad.
Yes.
Like a plastic quad, and then you got the Dodge out there.
No, they had some sweet ones, bro. They had a dually. They literally found the sweetest electric powered Hot Wheels.
They went to every
that were at a garage
sale.
Yeah,
and I've already got in my mind that if we were to put together a Barbie Jeep race team and Quinton was our driver, I know what we'd be racing downhill. Luke, what would you speculate we would put him in?
Dodge dually.
Nope. Chris, what would you speculate we would put him in? Just based on his track record.
Probably a Corvette.
Yep.
I'd say a Corvette.
For sure, we'll put him in the Barbie Corvette.
We're going to have to buy at least 3, though. So we can, like...
No, it's going to take more than 3 because he's got 3 blown up in the garage right now.
Okay.
We would need
so maybe 4.
One for each run. One for each run.
Yeah. So with 3 Corvettes, all different colors for sure. And, he'd ruin all of them.
Dude,
so when we did that charity rundown...
Hold on, before you continue, because I want to add that. Me and Chris are sitting on the sidelines, like, just watching everything, and all of a sudden, DJ comes up to us and is like, Chris, do you agree to this? And he was like, yes. Of course. And he comes up to me, Luke, do you agree to this? Yeah. And then Chris and I looked at each other, we're like, what did we just agree to?
Who knows?
Y'all had me fooled because Chris said it with quite confidence.
Well, I mean, if you got to say it, like, I mean, you came up and asked me a yes or no question, I'd have to say yes because you never lead me down a wrong road.
Exactly. Luke, why did you doubt me?
Past experience.
Because he heard how excited I was.
So it wasn't that he didn't trust me. It said he didn't trust your decision making.
Yeah, because we've hung out plenty of times now that he's like, nope.
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of knew what was going on. When you're standing at the top of a Barbie Hill Jeep race and the announcer asks you, do you agree? You're going down.
That's exactly what
you just don't really know how you're going down it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
thinking. So we
thinking.
line up.
I knew I was going down it. I just didn't know how I was going down it.
Yeah.
So we line up, and then they're like, no, get back. So we're like probably 50 foot from the start line now. We are way back.
Yeah, they didn't start us where everybody else got started. We went as far back as we could go in the grass. And then took off.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I'll look like I'm trying. Like I don't want to be like going down this as fast as possible because I don't want to clear the water landing and land in the rocks.
I wasn't worried about
the sand trap at the bottom. But so I'm like trying to go like look like I'm going fast. I hit that Visqueen, whatever it was, with the fire hoses. I picked up 20 miles an hour. And I was like, I'm going way too fast.
Yeah, I mean, when I hit it, I was expecting you'd be able to navigate a little bit.
Not at all.
You're completely blind.
So those dudes checking their steering at the top of the hill
didn't mean anything.
Didn't matter at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, because the 2 fire hoses hit you in the face. Like they started at your eyeballs, and then once they seen your eyelids inverted, then they start watering the track. I know
what my eyeballs, and I'm pretty sure my eyes tried to come out. That's how much water was hitting them.
Yeah, I know what Luke was worried about. He asked me after you, like, do you agree? Like when everybody kind of was figuring it, he goes, are we going down naked? I was like, no, Luke, this is
what
a
Luke
family.
is?
Yeah, I was like, Luke, no, this
Luke
is a
was already
family member. He
taking
goes,
his
oh,
clothes
okay,
off.
thank God, I'm all right. Yeah, I'm ready. And I was like, what?
Was he already pulling on his shorts whenever
already
he
had
was
my
asking?
pants
He had his
off.
shirt off,
Yeah.
actually.
Pants were off.
Got it.
His socks were coming off.
I said, this is a fundraiser for children, Luke. What are you
talking about?
about?
But
And then Quinton, I think, was one of the first. You were the first one to hit the water?
I think I got beat by D's surrogate. Apparently, I thought I was first, but I think he knows me out.
So as soon as you hit the water, you were swimming for your life.
Oh, I was I'm trying to dodge grown men. I literally flipped over and I'm
Did
looking.
the backstroke out of there?
Yeah, bro, I'm not trying to have the breath knocked out of me by one of y'all landing on my back or my head or something like in my weekend that.
Take your elbow out with a
Dude, I do not have a good luck when we do stupid stuff like that because that was 100% like. How many people went down? It was 5 wide for like what? I mean, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And no one got injured that I know of. Yeah. Like no one got landed on because
there was no blood. No one.
The water was.
Nobody was bleeding yet.
There were. I'm starting to wonder, did they hire an engineer for this thing? Because looking at it, I was like, bro, if somebody gets enough speed, they're clearing the pond. They're in the crowd.
That was for sure an option if you were going fast enough.
And what was crazy on on the Barbie Jeeps, they could probably see and spot their landing. When you went down on your belly like I did the first time, Blood, I was like, well, I'm not just gonna
over that.
Yeah,
jump.
I was like, I'm not just gonna Superman this. I'm doing a front flip and doing something cool if I'm gonna eat it. And I cleared and made the center of the pond because I had good speed, but the tarp had gotten loose, and so everybody started casing, making it to the pond. And thank God they had good grass because you were bouncing off the wall into the water, and even at that, you still hit the bottom. Like the water wasn't quite deep
like
enough.
3 foot deep.
Well, they knew it would fill up over time, I guess, with the fire hose, so they didn't want it spilling over and making a mess. But definitely there could have been another foot or two of water.
It definitely stopped your momentum.
But they really didn't ask everybody if they could swim either, so maybe they didn't want people drowning. There was no lifeguard on duty.
That's what I was thinking. Did you feel like you were building enough speed going down the hill that you could overjump the sewage pond?
I was about to say that. So when I went down, somehow I ended up on my back like a turtle, like sliding down on the slide. And I thought when I hit that jump, I had so much speed that I was just gonna like splat into the other side.
Oh, you talking about case it? Oh,
yeah, I thought I was for
you
sure
hit
just
that
gonna
water
splat.
and it like took the breath out of you. Like I hit the water and I was like, okay, I think I'm good. And then I got out of the water and I was like, oh no, that did not feel good at all. Like it was
Really?
a quickness. Like
Yeah. So you call that thing a slip and scrape instead of a slip and
What did you call
a
it,
slip and
Quentin?
splat?
slip and splat.
it definitely would give you a
it
freaking
was a slip and bleed.
Yeah.
Slip and bleed.
That's what it was.
an Oklahoma tan. Like it burnt me brown on my chest. I was tan when I went down on my stomach. I don't know if it's from red clay down
Bro,
that
how
tarp.
did you get a tan from the slip and bleed?
It literally made you red, so you had some complexion, and then it had like from people walking on. I guess had a little bit of clay, so it like literally looked like a male spray tan.
Yeah.
So,
That was just your spray tan getting scraped off.
maybe.
Man, with that good strong tan, Chris taking last in the pit bike race.
Yes.
Chris and Luke taking last in the team
We're just
race.
killing it over here.
Oh, just
Chris taking last in the slip and bleed.
Did I?
I think
Probably.
so.
I'll just claim it. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure I did.
Yeah, Chris, you're too lean.
The only thing to
Didn't
do
have
from
enough
there,
weight.
the only thing we could do from there was to go to Coconuts for the night. Just wrap up the weekend at a little visit to Coconuts, right?
Doing it right.
Man, just foreshadowing this, we finished last at everything this weekend. unless you judged it on who had the most fun and did the most.
We
We
were on top
definitely
of the
had the
world.
most fun, I think.
For
For
sure.
the whole weekend,
Yeah.
it was a real good time. By the end of the night, I think Luke had his shirt buttons were all off somehow. Like they were buttoned, but they were just kinked.
Don't know how that
My
happened.
shirt was torn off by
How did
Quinton.
how did your shirt get torn off?
Oh, just Quinton. We're just dancing, and he gave me the torque from behind, and it didn't have enough power to rip like the back of the shirt out, so it just popped every single button out.
My dude must have had like the Wrangler cowboy shirt because
Dude,
we
no,
grabbed
we
each
already-
side.
Yeah, no, we assessed it already. You literally had too many adult beverages to remember what happened. Because
No, I remember you. Like, I was surprised that I didn't get thrown to the ground.
No,
Like,
that wasn't me that pulled on the back of it. Let me finish.
wasn't you?
Yeah, dude, you literally went to MidAmerica jail. You don't remember what happened. Literally, we had already been sizing you up. You were standing there talking to us, laughing, having a good time, and I could tell it was so loud in there you couldn't tell what we were talking about, but you were laughing, looking at our face like you were in our conversation, like we're laughing, and you're like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
And we're over here talking about your freaking Weldon shirt you had on. That was
That was
paper thin shirt.
No, that
That
was the
thickest
button up I've ever seen, dude.
dude, that thing was the rug gallery that always says going out of sale. That thing was made out of the bottom of the rug, the strong part of the rug before they put the freaking stitching through.
Dude, his stitching was like been made of something strong too, because that stitching didn't get up on those buttons.
It was
No,
like
it did. I
potato sack.
tore
My
all
man
the-
had a burlap button up on.
I literally got in front of you. Was it D behind you? Who was behind
I
him?
snuck up behind him.
D was behind you.
So you
I
tore
came
my
on
shirt
the
off.
I came,
No, I
no, I
just
came on the
watched.
front. I came on the front and did the wedge pattern, matched your collar line, and tore down the middle to tear all the buttons. And then D was gonna tear it off the back of you, but literally it hooked you so hard in your armpits like it didn't come off.
About the sixth real good pull, I was like, all right, this shirt's just staying on.
It's unterrible.
But
Hold on it 6 times.
dude, at least 4 hard pulls trying to tear it off, and I thought I was going to pull him over backwards, so I was like, all right, we'll give up on it. The funny part is, the only button that he didn't have buttoned during the tear-off process was the very top one. And it wasn't 2 minutes later, he had every button undone except the very
He
top
had a cape on.
Well, and then about 2 minutes later, someone else ripped that one off.
Yeah, that one was blown out too.
Blown out.
But even though yours didn't come off good, we went over there and sat down like we were laughing and just hanging out. Joey Beck comes up laughing, trying to make fun of you.
Yeah.
Quinn sneaks around, grabs him, horse collars him, tears his shirt.
All he had was sleeves.
Where his shirt completely off of him.
That's amazing.
Oh man, what a good night.
And I didn't think I was strong enough because I mean, like you see when people get the shirts tore, like a shirt's actually pretty hard to tear off somebody unless you get a good clean swipe. And Joey's a kind of a big dude, obviously with a strong stance, so
Well,
he
you
didn't
also
pull
had a
towards me.
medium on,
Yeah, you
so
did
it
have a
was
tight
already busting at the seams.
It didn't pull him off balance, and I just got a good yank from the top ropes, and I literally tried to pull his shirt down past my legs and jump and do the split so like I had the power pull. Bro, there wasn't nothing but sleeves left on him.
You want me to tell you how I knew that you were going to be strong enough to tear Joey's shirt off? Because at one point during the night, Quinton was on the dance floor, had this chick, and she was thick, dog. I'm talking about she was walking weight maybe 225.
Yeah,
She
definitely
actually
4
looked like
Qs.
Quinton.
She looked like Quinton.
Yeah, like built like
Except
Quinton.
a little thicker legs. At one point, he had her held upside down, chest to back on the dance floor, doing the Tootsie Roll. I've seen Quinn take one long, deep breath and then set her down, set her back down on the ground.
On her face.
That was a sobering moment.
No, she put herself on her face because after Quinton set her back down after deadlifting 220 pounds,
Was that a PR?
that had to,
As far as human body weight, 100%.
yeah, because she in her condition, she was like lifting a limp baby up off the ground that doesn't want to be picked up.
Coconuts turned into a gym that night for some reason.
Bro, she was on another level. Everybody was scared to dance with her. I was like, well, the only thing to do is pick her up upside down. You know what I'm saying?
She was very messed up since we got there, and we got there relatively early in the night.
Yeah.
Which was very surprising.
Yeah, she was already there. She was already at 100.
3 sheets to the wind.
And what I knew is as soon as Quinton put her down, I don't know if she was still dizzy, if she had blood rush to the head. There was another dude over to the side doing the worm where you like jump and land on your hands and roll down and jump. And so she was like, looked at him and sized him up. And I was like, oh, yeah, y'all watch this. She's fixing to try it. And she jumped, tried to do a handstand. Arms were too weak to hold 225 up.
And try not to get that bench in.
Yeah, she definitely didn't do bench that day. Went face to the concrete. And face was bleeding. On the podcast, can we just blur out her eyes and maybe her lips and that'd be good enough?
No, I'll
to just
message
show?
her and get permission.
Okay, that's perfect.
I'm glad you got her Instagram.
No,
I mean, after you do the north-south position with somebody on the standing
Well,
north-south.
that's a gentleman thing to do.
Dude,
Quinton's a
the gentleman-
gentleman.
Exactly.
Obviously.
She actually had her phone number tattooed on her butt, and
like a tramp stamp.
and that's how Quinton got her phone number for sure.
Quinn found it that way. But her boy wasn't too impressed. I don't even think it was husband. What did he walk up?
Oh yeah.
Without
yeah,
using the expletives, what did he walk up and say?
He we were standing outside. It was like 30 minutes later. He walks up and was like, "Hey, I'm just letting y'all know that's my girl, and if anybody messes with her, I'm knocking them out." And I was like,
seems like everyone was messing with her.
I don't know why he came to us.
She was interested in everyone but him.
100%. Yeah, literally. And I was like, "Bro, who are you talking to?" He's like, I'm just telling you. I was like, "You're telling the wrong
You
one.
should've
You better
got up
go
on
back over
stage
there and
and
hang out with your
announced it."
hang out with your friends." And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, not anyone over here. I'm just letting y'all know." I was like, "Well, you better tell everybody else in the bar too. Then go hang out with your friends for both
Get
of
up
y'all
on
have a bad
stage
night."
and say it with your chest.
Yeah,
Would've been
exactly.
the best thing he could have done was requested the mic and let everybody know.
Should have just
Excuse me.
picked her up upside down and walked out with her. Is what he should have done.
That would have worked real good. Oh, man.
Yeah, that poor dude, man. Because she shoved him. Remember, he went up to like get on to her, like, "All right, that's enough drinking. Like, you're being too wild. Like, everybody's watching you. You're the only one on the dance floor. You're a spectacle."
The only one doing that stuff
And
on
she
the dance
sh-
floor.
and she
it was
shoved-
not like that was not the vibe at
Yeah.
all.
At
there.
all.
No.
At all. Everybody was having fun, like
Yeah.
cutting up dance offs and like,
Yeah.
and she was doing full handstands and Jersey
Yeah.
turnpikes.
And then we learned that DJ needs like security anytime he goes to an off-road event.
That was-
People be leaning across the table, yelling at him.
talking in my mouth.
Yeah, well, it's like
That's called making
people,
out, DJ.
yeah, because
No.
it's like they think you're drunk, but you're just sober, just sitting there, just
That's 'cause
trying to
of the-
relax,
that's
and
of
they're
the-
just yelling at you.
Yes.
because
That's
they're
the
like,
coke shots that we got DJ to do. They got
Oh
him
yeah, that
so
was
drunk.
funny. We thought we almost made a liar out of him. Everybody like I can only imagine the ones that didn't ask don't know.
Yeah.
D doesn't drink, never drank alcohol in his life, but we always go out and everybody will have a couple of beers within reason, except for Chris this weekend. And so they're always like, we'll take a shot or we'll cheers, and everybody's like, "DJ, where's your drink?" He's like, "I don't drink, man." What? And they act like it's the craziest thing, and I'm like, yeah, just some people just don't drink, some people just majority do.
Yeah. So I went
It's-
up and got shots for us, and I specifically asked for a Coke shot because we were doing Jaeger shots. And
Looks identical.
Coke
Let's
shot-
clarify. When you say Coke, you mean like a Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah, no. What,
Guys, I wasn't taking Coke shots while we were.
yeah, he doesn't do drugs either. Okay,
Yeah,
Let's
definitely
put that out
not.
there.
All right, Dustin
Yeah.
doesn't drink, but he will do lines. Got it.
Definitely not.
Knows how to party.
Yeah.
I see.
It was a Coca-Cola shot. that
Yeah,
you
it
got
looked
for me.
exactly like a shot. So everybody was like, "I thought you didn't drink, man." Well, yeah.
While they're
Just
leaning
a-
across,
Yelling.
Like, there's 3 tables, and they're like somehow on the far side of the table, leaning all the way, like planking on the table, just like with their feet up, just
Yeah.
talking to.
Oh no, they're definitely doing. You talking about the girls?
Oh, the girl that came over,
Yeah,
she
they're
was, like,
definitely doing that on
laying
purpose.
across you.
Yeah, they're definitely
while
doing that on
you're
purpose.
drinking your drink on her,
God.
like a table.
Dude.
I'm a gentleman,
Insane.
so I was
That's
just
the-
going to let them talk. And
That's the first time, like, usually when we go places, it's not that big of a deal. But I guess this is the first time we went to an off-road event at a big park like that of people that are really into what we did that I thought, like, dude, I'm going to start giving my friends $100 a night to just, like,
We should have just
Block
like, yeah, we
people.
should have just got like some ropes out or something and just
VIPs.
corded off an
Caution
area. And I needed like a doorman or something. I think that would have been.
Or you just
preferred.
walk around with your shirt off.
Yeah, we could have
that'll
done
do it.
that.
Yeah.
They'll do
I
it.
feel like whenever they saw Quinton pick her up upside down about to power bomb her, I thought they'd be like, "Oh yeah, let's not mess with those guys."
That would have been amazing if he just dropped her.
If he can deadlift 225, we don't need to be messing with them.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
for real, the whole weekend, it was like we would go eat breakfast and people would come and talk to us while we were eating breakfast and all that stuff. And it was like,
Well, not us, DJ.
yeah.
Stop.
Well,
Stop.
I meant DJ, but
I'm not that important.
So
we were all in conversation and they were talking to DJ.
if anybody out there wants to send in a resume and feel like they know some kung fu or something, besides Cowboy, obviously, we will just take him with us.
I just declined a call from him.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
so
Oh,
bro-
yeah. so-
he's on his way then.
Yeah, he's basically
To
on
kick Quentin's butt.
Yeah, he's on his way here. So just send in some resumes. Luke, what is your email address so that we can just send them your personal one so we can just send it straight to you.
Aren't
and you
you-
can start reviewing them.
It's caddesigner@s3.com. Is what you picked?
Yeah,
CAD
It's-
designer.
I think it's
Make-
fake engineer.
Make sure
actually.
you put CAD designer
Yeah.
at
S3.
S3 Power Sports.
Got it. So
Yeah.
send in your resumes to
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Make sure you put 3 or 4 designers in there.
It is awkward because like you talking about, like people watch our stories. We do a lot of social media compared to everybody that watches our stuff. Like, and so but drinking adds a new element. It gets really awkward. Like we're just normal people. You can have a normal conversation. We have things in common, but it's really for sure like they like, oh man, I want to go say hey to him. All right, cool, come say hey. And then like I feel like they have to keep the conversation going, even though we don't really have anything to talk about at that time. They'll stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and you're kind of like yeah, y'all fish, and like the conversation just goes really odd, and you're like,
I'm for sure heard one of the dudes say, big gulp, huh? Well, see you later.
that's the only awkward part about it.
Well, no, there was another awkward part about it. Maybe it was the dude walking around with the prosthetic leg on the dance floor.
Oh, my Lord.
Playing it like it was an air guitar.
Well, he didn't have a prosthetic leg. He took another dude's prosthetic leg and was walking around with it.
Yeah, maybe I didn't describe that well. He didn't have his own prosthetic leg.
No.
He had 2 legs.
It was around his shoulder. Like,
yes.
Over, like, he was holding it like he was walking around like the military with the guns.
Yes.
Like, marching around with it.
It was actually a nice one too. Someone turned him loose with a $20,000 leg, and that's
Dude,
what I'm trying to figure out.
that's the most expensive leg I've ever seen.
What got weird is he walked up to me out of the blue and held the foot part directly in my face and asked me to sing in it like it was a microphone.
It was no shoe, no socks, just
Dirty foot, too.
Foot.
It'd been walking on the ground.
Oh yeah, that the foot hadn't been washed well, but the toes were painted. So maybe
Really?
it was a
Were
chick's
they?
leg. I don't know.
Were?
Yeah. Luke, what did the part that they stick their nub in smell like? Because you kept putting your face in there, and then Luke was like, "Let's take a drink out of it."
You were?
he's trying to like
Yes.
shoe
Yeah, I was trying to take a leg shot. You ever taken a leg shot before?
Yeah, shoeing where they drink out of the shoe.
Yeah, they're trying to shoot him with
Yeah,
the
trying to
He's
do a
like-
shoey with the whole leg.
Put a leg up.
Oh man, that's when things got
you just fill this
real
up?
weird. Yeah, when dude kept yelling in my face, singing it, singing the big toe. I was like, I'm not singing in this foot. I'm not even getting close to my face.
That's something you probably don't know for sure. There are the drunk genre of people, like when they think they have a good idea and they tell you to do it and you don't, and they get pissed off and they keep yelling louder. You're like, man, I think I'm about to have to fight my friend. I don't want to do that.
I finally had to tell him, like, no, dude, I'm good. Like, keep it moving. I don't want to sing into this foot. He's like, all right, whatever,
I
be
think
like that.
I think he figured out that you were like the only sober one there.
Yeah.
Because like you were the only person that was saying coherent things. Like I turned to you during the night and I was like, DJ, how dumb does everyone look? Because I know like to me they don't look dumb.
Look completely normal.
As much as like I think they are. Like everyone might be a little bit goofy, dancing a little weird, like not on rhythm at all.
Yeah.
But to you, it just must be another level.
Painful
Besides
to sit and
Quinton,
watch.
like he's got it on
I was about
block.
to say, Chris, you keep saying people like you don't have a good grading scale. You were right behind White Shirt Girl that picked up. Like y'all were in a close race for
close
first as far as the most inebriated. So you're like, I bet everybody looks so stupid. No, Chris, you laid in bed at night. It was like, God, I probably look so stupid. And actually, if everybody
I actually looked
if
very.
you look at my story,
Yes, I skipped
I've got
past
some
that.
I've got some
I
videos.
was like, I
of
can't watch this.
Chris on the dance floor describing these people at the party.
It's me.
I thought you looked cool, Chris. I'm not gonna lie.
I know I didn't because I woke up. It was Monday. Tuesday. You posted that Tuesday morning. I saw it at least, and I was like scrolling through Instagram, and I was like, oh gosh.
I didn't
I
tag-
just like
Started doing the hyperclick.
I skipped it. I saw the first like thing of me in it. I was like, nope, not.
I
not even
freaking went through all your Instagram friend list and tagged everybody blindly, but didn't tag you so they all see it.
perfect. I was so embarrassed.
that
I was
is
like,
so
oh my
funny.
god.
I don't think you should have been. I was proud of what you were doing out there. I was proud of as soon as you got up and went to the dance floor. I was like, "Q, this is when we do it." And that's when
The shirt
Yeah, I had to
come
tear your
off.
shirt off. Then that was early in the night.
It was very early.
The rest of the night when you started doing like Copperhead Road, I thought you were doing really good. I think
how
that's
to-
what the video was of. Was
Yes,
Copperhead.
it was Copperhead.
Okay.
That's what, because I know how to dance that one actually, and I didn't know how to dance to it that night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't see y'all rip his shirt off, but I remember going up to him later and being like, "Hey, dude, you should button up your." There's no buttons at all on that shirt.
Man, they're gone. They're
Luke
gone.
had a cold towel. Hey, Chris, let me sober you up. You got to get it together, bud. Button your shirt up. Oh, there's no buttons. Oh,
I would, but I swear.
did that shirt not come with buttons?
It was optional.
Oh man, it's a convertible button up. You can take the.
And he was
Let
telling
it
me, he was
breathe.
like, "Man, I think I'm gonna try to sew those buttons back on that shirt." And I was like, "Dude, there's no chance
When
you're
did
sewing."
he say that?
On
I was
the
on
way
the
back.
drive home.
On the way back.
Oh.
I was
And
like, I haven't even looked at it. I
was-
don't. I'm almost
Chris,
positive there's holes through it.
Chris, I'll get you a new shirt.
Yeah, we'll go up to
it's
the
fine.
thrift store and find you the same shirt.
We got to go
sewing those back
shopping.
on.
We got to go some shopping this week.
No,
By
'cause-
shopping, do you mean go buy a potato sack and cut the front of it off?
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the fairgrounds where they have that big slide, and we're gonna get the sacks that are under it. Or that could be that shirt I see on Instagram where they're like 9mm rated, 380 rated. It's literally bulletproof.
Bowie knife.
It was actually that shirt was actually just chainmail.
That's what it felt like when we tried to tear it, dude.
Disclaimer: everything is bulletproof except the threads that hold on the buttons. That's literally the only thing that.
No,
tore.
those didn't rip. Y'all ripped the shirt off the threads.
Oh, we ripped the strip, the button strip. Yes. Oh, the
we
button
did.
strip got
The
you.
holes, like there were holes where the buttons used to be.
So the threads were even strong.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll get you a new shirt. But hey, I'm not telling you to stop partying like that because I liked what you were doing. Like I like going
was
out
a
with
fun
people that-
time.
Yeah,
That was a really good
I'll
time.
take care of you every night. You know who not to take care of you? These two yahoos over here, bro.
I feel like we were taking care
I
of
mean,
it.
all I saw when we got back was Quinton was the only one turning on the AC for me.
Bro, I've been there. I know where you're at. These dudes were like, turn the lights off. Let's pour water on them. Tell them the ship's sinking. I was like, what? They wanted you to think you were drowning.
But I mean, if you want to plan a weekend to have a good time, I feel like MidAmerica is the go-to.
It
we-
never disappoints.
We have to
Never.
let even if you don't have anything to ride, like just come out because like that's kind of what's cool about the park too. I think too, like what we talked about. This is from a rider's perspective. There's not a lot of trails at the park necessarily, but there's so much going on. Even if you don't have a side by side,
So many events.
you
So
can
many.
literally catch a ride. Everybody's really cool and walk to everything like no problem. Literally, it was like reminds me of when I went on a cruise with my family. Like there's something going on every hour.
Yeah.
And
Like-
they have the pool and the lazy river, and these
Yeah.
aren't like trashy motel pools. Like
Those
this is like a
places are nice.
legit lazy river, and like a legit. They have like 2-3 pools there.
Yeah.
Like it's very very nice.
Yeah, it was on a real note. It was very family oriented too. The pool, like the play area, was in the middle, and then you had the
lazy
lazy river
Yep.
that goes around it, so you can watch your kids while you're in the lazy river. It was really well laid out, and it's in the middle of everything, so you can finish drinking your beer and in the lazy river and go watch mud races or pit bike races.
And
or,
it overlooks the
or
short
whatever.
course
Yeah,
track,
that's
too.
right. You can
Yeah.
elbow up to the side of the pool and watch the short course races
Yeah,
from
it's
the swimming pool.
really cool.
Yeah.
I'll tell everybody also renting the cabins and stuff. Like as we get older, I know when I don't sleep good, I've got to have my pillow. I didn't have to bring my pillow. I slept fine. So that's my rating on the place.
Yeah, if there's a good judge of MidAmerica's quality, just use the cabin pillows.
You
and
don't
you'll-
even have
fine.
to bring your own pillow.
Yeah, so but it's a great weekend, man. It was. I'm still kind of recovering, even though we're 2 or 3 days away from there. I'm still needing some more sleep to get called back.
Yeah,
up.
I'm lacking a little bit. We didn't sleep much. We probably slept 5 hours total that whole
total,
time.
but man, it was worth it. So
Yeah, it was the best time.
to get ready to wrap this thing up, we got to hand this title off to somebody because Luke, we don't even remember what you did to
Yeah.
earn the title, and you've been holding the belt for a while, and I've really been trying to figure out if I'm going to let you keep it, but you really didn't do nothing cool this weekend. And I'm trying to think of like, all right, what did one of our friends win, or what's the most appropriate thing that they did? And all that I can think of is the person that won at losing the most. My man lost dead last at the pit bike race.
Dead last.
Luke, with your help, he got dead last on
Dead
the team
last
race.
again.
Going downhill dead last,
last.
on the Barbie Jeep race, and basically the first one to go in on the final night. And
Yeah.
so,
Well, not the first one to go in, but the first one to need to go in.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah.
Literally the only person in Mid-America history to get a DWI, go to Mid-America jail, and and be escorted to his cabin. Fell asleep. Only person I know to fall asleep on their pit bike.
And so this is the first time we've given the belt out for being the worst at something. And
Perfect.
Yeah.
so, Chris,
I'm the winner.
I like to call it doing the most.
with a round of applause
Do
from
it,
our
bro.
other friends, you did the most this time.
Oh yeah.
Just take that and hold it over your head like you're a champion.
Chris, I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of myself. What are you talking about?
Are you going to go in
First
the...
time coming in.
You might be the first one in the shop to win it. Is he the first one in the shop to win it?
I think so, because Coors never won it.
Better watch out. weld up that whole car tomorrow with it on.
It's gonna have weld splatter on it.
Dude, if you bring that sweet championship belt with weld splatter on it, you're never coming on the podcast again.
Chris, have you ever read that belt?
No, I actually haven't.
Why don't you
I
just,
can't read.
For people that are just starting to tune in, this is a great idea, Luke.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and read?
Because I think this has a lot to do, with what happened this weekend.
No,
Mostly the
No. Read it again.
Read it closely.
undisputed champion. No regrets. Is that what it is?
No. Read it letter for letter, Mr. No Regrets. What does it say?
Rage regrets? What do you mean?
Rugrats.
Ragrets?
Do you realize that's not spelled correctly?
Yeah, I do. That's the problem. It also got yee on it.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
You can 100% weld with that on. That shirt we try to tear off you, just wrap it up in that. Literally,
fire
retardant tape. Yeah, you could burn to death and the belt would be okay.
Gosh. So, man. Another exhausting weekend, another crazy stories, another good Checkers or Wreckers podcast. Proud of my boy for taking home the belt. I didn't expect it out of you. I didn't expect you to do so bad and do so good at the same time.
I think I had the most fun. I would say so. Personally, I think I had the most fun.
And based on your dancing skills and how you judge yourself, you're probably right, Chris.
Yep,
you're probably right. So, if you want to check out any more of our podcasts, you can go check us out on Apple Play, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Spotify, on every major listening place that you can. But for us, that's another Checkers or Wreckers. Don't go too far because we got another one after this crazy weekend that we got planned coming up. Quinton is going to be out of control.
100% somebody's getting bailed out.
For sure, it's a jail time weekend. So tune in for some more podcasts coming down the pipeline.